G'day guys, and welcome to Phil and Jill in the Philippines. Just a short one at the start of the video. We woke up this morning and we've been going through the analytics on YouTube, and this is the morning noise here, by the way. And I found a new section because we don't know too much about YouTube, as you can probably tell by the videos, but I thought it was important. We had a look at our audience and where they come from in the world, and the proportion of people that watch our videos, and I'd just like to shout out to everyone. It's surprising when you do a YouTube video, you just don't realize you touch the four corners of the planet. And we've got viewers in Chechnya, for God's sake, and Norway and Italy and India. So hi to you guys. Please drop us a comment and tell us what you're doing. It's really interesting for us. Also, I'd just like to thank the 3 and 4 major countries that really support us. Obviously home in Australia, Great Britain, g'day all you pommies. The Philippines is supporting us. A lot of Filipinos viewers, and you know, I'm really happy, and I'm holding this camera, so I was so excited about getting onto you and whatever. So hello Philippines, and I hope we're doing the right thing by promoting the right things. But I've got to thank over 55% of our viewers come from the United States. And hello guys, you know, you Yanks, you've come to our rescue again. You're always there. You saved us in the Second World War, and now you're saving this channel. So guys, I appreciate it. But you know, take a couple of minutes, plonk down where you're from, say g'day. We're just absolutely over the moon. And the other thing is, I know this is a bit of, I think they call it e-begging and whatever it happens to be. But the phenomenal thing is that the research we've done about YouTube, to get to 500 subscribers, every one of them said it was going to take us between 6 months and 18 months to get anywhere between 500 and 1,000 subscribers. Well, bloody hell, we've got there in less than 3 weeks. We got to 500. We're now sitting on 744 or something. So my ego's such that I'd be absolutely stoked if all you guys out there could either hit the button to subscribe. You don't even have to watch us. I just want to prove YouTube wrong that we can do it. And considering the quality of our videos, which are bloody awful, I just thank each and every one of you. So the other thing I've found, like if any of you guys are running YouTube channels, we can do a thing called share, which I've just found out. So tell us about it, we'll check it out, and then we'll pass it on to everybody if they want to have a look. So we're only too happy to do that. But all you guys, thank you so much. You have no idea. And you know, like, I'd like to crack 1,000 subscribers. We've only got 260 odd to go or something. You know, before the month is out, and just prove YouTube wrong. But thanks again, and now we'll get on with the subject of our next video. Okay guys, the subject of the video today is a simple one. It won't be a long video, but it's a little bit important, and it's going to save you a lot of time. And I've decided that the noise is what the noise is, and I'm sitting out the front of my house early in the morning. It's peak hour here, so everyone's coming down from the mountain and going into town to work. So this will give you some indication. It's no use. The noise is the noise in the Philippines, so this will give you some idea. But I have checked that it's picking up decent sound quality from the voice. Anyway, the subject of the video is your travel kit. Whether you come for a month, 2 months, or an indeterminate period of time, these are good things to have on you. That will save you a lot of time, effort and energy, and it'll cover most things. And they're only suggestions, but they're a good thing to have. Obviously your passport. Everyone says don't travel on a passport that has less than 6 months. In fact, they won't let you in. So, but try to have as much time on your passport as possible. Yeah, I wouldn't travel anywhere overseas, especially to a country where you can extend like this one, for the period of time you can extend, because you never know what's going to happen. You might lob here, you have the ability to stay, for an extended period of time and you decide to do so. So, you know, it's worthwhile having, not to worry about, you know, a passport that only has 12 months on it or so. So bring your passports, obviously, you can't get in the country without it, but make sure there's adequate time on it. The other thing that I'd suggest you bring is 20 passport size photos. When you do anything official over here, they usually require a passport size photo to go with the application. Now you can obviously get passport photos over here, but if you're carrying 20, which is easy to get in the States and in the UK and whatever, it'll save you lining up at the photo stores and whatever. And you know, if you can minimize the amount of time you line up in this country, good. And it's just such a simple thing to do, just to pop 20 or so photos into your bum bag or your fanny pack or whatever you're carrying and bring them over. Obviously, if you're going to do any travelling around, your motor vehicle license, make sure it's current. It's got to be a photo license. So there's some countries that issue without photo, but it's got to be a photo license. You'll use that as ID if you haven't got your passport as well. The other benefit of having your license of origin is you can hire things like motorcycles or cars over here on that particular license, and you can really run around legally for a couple of months over here before you have to change it over to a filo passport. And to do that, you've got to get your permanent tourist card anyway. So remember that. Bring your license. Any pension cards you may have, if you guys are my age and older. In Australia they issue a senior citizens card at I think 55, maybe, or 60 or some bloody thing. Anyway, all us old guys usually got a senior citizens card. That comes in handy because they do make allowances for senior citizens over here, and you are considered a senior citizen once you hit 60. And it really does help, especially if you're going to supermarkets and things like that. There's specific lines for older people, pregnant women, people with disabilities, and you usually get through quicker. So pension cards are good, especially the youthful look that we all have. They may quiz you as to you're in the wrong line, and you can show them the pension card. Birth certificates. Bring over your original birth certificate. Bring over copies, photostat copies, because you know, it's easier to do it over there. You can do it on your home computer and whatever. So, you know, even half a dozen of those. And when you're here, you can go to a Commissioner of Oaths and Affidavits, and you can get them stamped, and therefore they become 9 times out of 10 acceptable to government departments as an official document, as long as they are witnessed by an authority over here, so you don't have to hand over your original birth certificate. If you're contemplating, it wouldn't hurt, you don't know, even if you haven't met a young lady or whatever, you may do, you may be here for a year or two, bring over any marriage certificates if you've been married before, your divorce documentation that you have, and copies obviously of all these documents. And if you're a widow, or you know, like, it assists if you're getting involved. In fact, it's mandatory that you bring over the death certificate of your previous spouse. I'll go into a video, Jen and I, because we had such a bloody hilarious time getting married in this country, and because of where we were in the province, it was a comedy of errors, and it took a long time actually to do everything. So, but if you've got those things, and you don't have to send away for them, because here the mail is, you know, very iffy. You know, most of the stuff you get, some you don't. It's even worse than US mail and Australian mail. So it's not going to take up too much room or any extra weight to have this stuff. Now, your banking. I can't stress this enough. To sort out your banking, whether you're coming for a short time or a long time, I would suggest to you carry a couple of cards to different accounts for whatever reason. If you damage your card and that's your primary source of getting income out of your bank back in the US or the UK and whatever, and you can't do it, you're up shit creek without a paddle. It takes a hell of a lot of effort to get a replacement card. Now, I know Amex and things like that, so they'll deliver a card anywhere in the world within a day or two, but trust me, if it's just a card from a bank, bring 2 just in case one stuffs up, you lose it, you leave it in a machine. You're in a foreign country, you're easily distracted, bring a couple of cards. They don't have to be credit cards, they can be debit cards, so you know, make sure you do that. Also, while you're here, make sure of the banks, you have the correct email address to that bank and contact numbers on your person. So if you know anyone down at the bank, get a telephone number off them somewhere where you don't have to go through the system of automated machines, because ringing internationally here costs a lot of money if you have to go back to your bank and sort something out. The other thing I'd suggest, and I don't know if you can do it anywhere else, but we can in Australia, you can get a letter of authority to somebody you trust over there that will access your accounts on your behalf or act on your behalf while you're overseas. So that's always a good thing. If you've got a trusted person, a relation that can have access to your account to sort any debacle that may come up, and they have that authority, they can sort out a lot of things for you. So some form of authority to that person over there, sort it out before you leave. But banking is can be a major problem, and at worst it can cut your holiday short, because, as I said, this is a cash society. Without money, you are stuffed. So take all those things into consideration. Now, the other thing I would suggest, not that I want to be negative, but it goes the same whether you're coming to the Philippines or anywhere else in the world, especially if you're traveling on your own. Sort out your will. You know, like, if anything does happen, whether it be the Philippines, Europe, if Americans are going to Canada, or if something happens, mainly, you know, especially if it's over an ocean, sort out your will. Make sure it's up to date, make sure it's right, because we never know, unfortunately, what may happen. Now, talking about driver's licenses beforehand, just a word of precautionary word of warning. A lot of guys come over here because every man and his dog and every kid is riding a motorcycle, and it's easy to obtain one, a rental motorcycle over here. And of course the attitude is, I used to ride motorcycles, I can do this. And you may have the technical skill to ride a motorcycle, but if you haven't done it for a long time, if you are not 100% confident, even on these little automatic motorcycles, you know, do not hire a motorcycle. My dear departed wife, who worked for Qantas, an Australian airline, and flew throughout Southeast Asia, said, and I've looked it up beforehand, it's so surprising the amount of tourists that are killed on motorcycles or badly injured in Asia is phenomenal. It's not something that the airlines promote, it's not something that the governments promote, but there is body after body after body brought back to countries of origin where they've been killed and injured on motorcycles. It takes a while to get used to driving in traffic in Asia. If you are not 100% confident, do not even attempt it until you can ease your way into it. As I said before, there is a rhythm to driving here. There is written rules which cover their ass if something happens. They're never enforced until something goes wrong. So if rules are never enforced, it is organised chaos riding in Southeast Asia, India and places like that. So until you get used to the way the traffic flows, who gives way to who, what you should look out for, just don't do it, right? Use trikes in this country. It's a quaint way of getting around until you get used to it. They're cheap. They're everywhere. You can get a bloody trike. You can get out of the bathtub and you know, in your hotel room, and you've got half a chance of picking up a trike. So it's not difficult to do. When you do hire a trike, unless you say to the trike driver you want it exclusively, don't be surprised you pop in a trike and he keeps picking up passengers. So at one minute you're terribly comfortable in this little tiny machine, the next minute you've got 6 other fellows sitting with you and you're like sardines. Cost you a little bit more to go exclusive, but you know, it's also part of being in Asia. So just smile, go along with it, enjoy yourselves. That's about it. If you want to know anything more, and of course, you know, cash, bring cash. If you're going to stay, or the possibility is you're going to extend your visa, try to stop the holiday mode very quickly, because the first month you're here, you won't even realise that you're going to be spending a lot of money. Oh, William, I think it was, one of our subscribers asked me that he was coming across here for a couple of months, And what I'd suggest as far as accommodation was concerned, whether it be B&B, whether it be an apartment, whether it be a short-term rental and whatever. Now, I answered that, if you haven't read the comments, this way, and it's my advice. From where you are sitting in the world, you can go on Agoda, pick a place, because it very much depends on where you're going in the Philippines, and for that matter, anywhere in Southeast Asia. Pick a place, register something you like, register your accommodation on Agoda, something you can afford, for a couple of days, and that's all you require. And in those couple of days, do your floating around. You know, you'll see expats in different places having coffee and whatever. Don't be afraid to wander up, introduce yourself, say hi, I've been here for 5 minutes. You know, I'm looking for accommodation for a couple of months. Where do you suggest? And, you know, wherever you happen to be. The expats know, you know, and they're only too happy the majority of the time to tell you the best possible places with facilities and the right types of prices. So don't worry too much about your booking. I know it's a safety mechanism to know where you're going to hang your head and whatever. And remember this, it's a little bit more expensive to extend if you've only booked in for a couple of days, but you can always get onto Agoda over here and get the deals online if you have to go somewhere else and you can't find anywhere. But yeah, utilise what's here. Okay guys, it's a short one. Thanks so much again to the rest of the world, the Yanks, the Palms, the Canucks. Oh, I forgot to mention beforehand, I was so surprised. We've got people in Qatar, we've got people in UAE.
Breakfast, baby.
And my beloved has just served me breakfast. I'll give you a look. You know, it's, I don't know if you can see. Can you see? Where is it? Oh, there it is. In all its magnificence. Anyway, that's it for us. It's a short one. Hopefully it's helpful to you. I'll put Jen and I are going to put a longer video on this afternoon. Something light, because I've noticed that a lot of our videos are a little bit heavy, and you know, I do get emotional about certain things when I witness stupidity, not so much from our viewers, but on you know, over here. I see a lot of people wandering around with their head up their ass, and it annoys me so I get on and virtually have a rant to you guys. Okay, love yous all. This is Phil in the Philippines on the channel, Phil and Jen in the Philippines, and you saw Jen serving up breakfast. Subscribe, hit the up, the down button, the notification bell. But all you guys that haven't subscribed, doesn't cost you anything. Please, for our sake, so we can get to 1,000, knock the subscribe button. Cheers for now, guys.